College football player props here over on PrizePicks for Friday, August 29th. Before I get into the video, guys, take a look in the description below. Hop into the Discord. $9.30 per month, 31 cents per day. Again, that's where I post all the plays that I'm making on PrizePicks. We have other cappers in there as well. Overall, super positive community. Everyone in the Discord is trying to help each other cash. Currently doing a promo right now for first-time members of the Discord, 20% off your first month using promo code TUFF with the link in the description below of this video. Hope to see you guys in there. Also, follow me on Twitter at ToughPicks, TUFFPICKS, is where I post daily plays of the day over on there as well. But let's get right into it. Pretty decent college football Friday slate. Again, it's opening week 1 college football. So we do get Friday games. I think majority, as we move into the season, majority games will be actually on Saturday. But let's get into it, you guys. 2 player props that I do like. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. First play I'm looking at here is going to be Cam Coleman, over 67.5 receiving yards. This line actually opened up, I think, at 71.5, has come down to 67, and I do think it's a sweet spot here for Cam Coleman. Again, looking back at the 2024 recruiting class, Cam Coleman was the second highest rated wide receiver in the class. He's actually the 5th highest recruit in the entire country. He was rated actually higher than Ryan Williams, the Auburn freshman superstar, and then right behind Jeremiah Smith. So this is obviously a pretty stacked, at least at the top, receiving class in the 2024, and Cam Coleman had a pretty solid freshman season. We look at Cam Coleman as a freshman, started off really strong, 2 catches for 62 yards, 2 catches for 53 yards, averaged, well over 26.5 yards per catch over the first 2 games, and then got hurt, had a shoulder injury, and didn't really get back into form towards the end of the last season, but finished very strong at the end of last year. 8 catches for 100, 7 catches for 128, and 7 catches for 78 yards, really just putting his talent on display, right? Like, obviously, he's an extremely talented player, was the 5th highest rated recruit in the entire country, 2nd highest rated wide receiver. Now, a lot of things have kind of changed with this Auburn team. They are actually going to be 4.5-point road favorites, actually, in this game, I think, against Baylor. But I think given Cam Coleman's explosiveness and his talent, this is a little bit too low of a line. We look over on Outlier. Again, there's a link in the description below. You can get a 7-day free trial with Outlier. Again, an absolute elite research betting tool that I use every single day. Over 4.5 receptions for Cam Coleman is sitting right now at -194 on DraftKings, right? So juiced pretty heavily for 5 catches. I think he's actually at 5 receptions over on PrizePicks for this game. Yeah, he's at 5 catches. So again, favored pretty heavily for at least 5 catches. We look again at his freshman season. In games that he had at least 5 catches, he obviously had 78, 128, and 100. 4 catches for 24, but then had a game here, 3 catches for 82, 2 catches for 53, 1 catch for 47, just giving us that upside down the field. And I do think with Jackson Arnold now at the quarterback position for Auburn, it just gives him that much more explosive offense. We look at this article here as well, that Jackson Arnold, quarterback for Auburn, recently said, I got a fail-safe out there in talking about Cam Coleman. He's obviously very high on his receiver. He knows that no matter what, he's going to have Cam Coleman, and most likely Cam Coleman will be open. We look at last season, Baylor in the Big 12 did allow the 6th most total passing yards in the Big 12, which ranked in the upper half as far as passing yards allowed in the Big 12. We look at similar talented wide receivers versus Baylor last season. I know teams change year to year, but this is primarily the same or somewhat of the same. I think Baylor returns like 7 defensive starters on the defensive side of the ball. Chris Hilton, Aaron Anderson both easily went for 100 yards against Baylor. Brennan Presley went for 15 catches and 183 versus Baylor. Caleb Douglas, 10 catches for 99, or 9 catches for 99. Josh Kelly, 9 catches for 76. What else do we have? Travis Hunter, 7 catches for 130. Amarion Miller, 2 catches for 71. LeJontay Wester, 4 catches for 68. And then we also see here Jaden Higgins went for 8 catches and 116, and Jalen Noel 5 catches for 98. So, I mean, 68 receiving yards for Cam Coleman in this matchup. Pretty decent game total. I think it's like 54.5. On the road, I do think this game should be ultra competitive, but again, 4.5 catches, heavily juiced on the over. I like this spot here a lot for a very, very talented player. Probably the second, or obviously one of the top 5 most talented and probably top 5 best receivers in the entire country. Sophomore Cam Coleman, I like his over 67.5 receiving yards. Second line here is going to be a rush yards line for the Georgia Tech Colorado game. It's Jamal Haynes over 70.5 rushing yards. We look at Jamal Haynes over on Outlier. Again, starting running back, him and Haynes King, quarterback for Georgia Tech, are both back. And it really, really helps that Haynes King, the quarterback, is a dual threat quarterback. He's able to run the ball, which really, really helps Jamal Haynes, right? They on those read options, Colorado's either going to have to decide to, you know, double or not double, but cover Haynes King or Jamal Haynes, right? Which should give him that upside. But he's over this line last season in 7 of 13 games, averaging 72.62 rushing yards per game. And we kind of look at last season for Jamal Haynes in games when he did see, 13 plus rushing attempts, which I'm expecting him to see, right, this season in this game. I mean, in games when he saw, 13 plus, he was 91, 36, 136, 84, 47, 170, 128. Obviously, like I said, the hit rate on this line, pretty decent, 7 of 13. But also a couple interesting things as well. For this Georgia Tech offense, right, their number one receiver is no longer on the team. Eric Singleton transferred to Auburn, actually, so he's facing Baylor in the other game. But Malik Rutherford is back, and Haynes King, Jamal Haynes were the top 2 rushers on the team. The third highest rusher, Chad Alexander, is out for this game. He's out. You can see here, he's been ruled out. So it's really the Jamal Haynes backfield. I see in a competitive game, he should see at bare minimum around 14 rushing attempts. I think his rushing attempts line is somewhere. Where's his rushing attempts line? Rushing attempts line is at 14.5. So I think 14 rushing attempts is the floor in this one. I really like the upside for him. Again, Colorado last season gave up a ton of rushing yards. They gave up 151.4 rushing yards per game, which, again, was quite a bit better from, I think, the rushing yards they gave up in 2023 when they were in the Pac-12. I think they gave up, second most total rushing yards in the 2023 in the Deion Sanders era. But nonetheless, I think with Georgia being, I believe Georgia, let me see. I think Georgia is actually 4.5-point favorites here at Colorado in this matchup. Really quickly, we take a look quick at the spread. Yeah, Georgia Tech is 4.5-point favorites. So if we do get that type of game script with Georgia Tech leading, right, Georgia Tech, I think, will have a top 10 offense in all of college football this season with Haynes King and Jamal Haynes. I do think he sees the rushing upside to clear this line. So 2 player props for this YouTube video. Friday, August 29th, college football. Cam Coleman over 67.5 receiving yards. Jamal Haynes over 70.5 rushing yards. Please drop a like, hit the subscribe button, you guys, and as always, let's cash.